Hey, are you a photographer or another creative and you're looking to utilize AI, something like ChatGPT, to do some content writing for your business, but you're afraid that you're going to sound like a bot and not like your brand, like the art that you spent a lot of time creating? Well, I want to show you exactly how I do this in my business, how I would write a meta description, something very specific to SEO, and then also how I would write an SEO optimized blog using ChatGPT to get me maybe 90% ready to publish. I'm not going to do any of this ahead of time. I don't have any of these ideas really thought out because what I really wanted to show you was exactly what's going to happen when I put it into ChatGPT and then what I'm going to do when the results that I get aren't exactly what I want. How am I going to refine this so that I can keep working to a finished product that I'm happy with? So I'm going to start with a meta description. I'm going to bump over to a blog. I'm going to plagiarism check it. I'm going to make it sound like my brand and not a bot. And if this is something that you want to do in your business, I invite you to watch as I jump into this. Hey, so we are in Chat GPT and I am using Model 4, which as of the time that I'm recording it, it is the most current. It is limiting me at 25 messages every 3 hours. So if I need to, I can bump back to 3.5, but I'm going to use 4 because it is the most accurate. And I also find that it gives the most personality to my writing. It doesn't sound as bot-ish, if that is a word. It should be a word, especially with all of the AI writing out there. So I want to do a meta description and I also want to do a blog. I don't have either one of these pre-written. I haven't put any of these into ChatGPT beforehand. Truthfully, I don't even exactly know what I'm going to write about. But what I think is important is for you to see exactly how I'm going to put this into ChatGPT and what I'll do if the results come back not as desired, how I will tweak it and adjust it, and then how I'm going to take my blog and I'm going to put it into another program to plagiarism check it and to also go back through even more and refinesse it to make sure that it sounds like my own brand and my own business and my own art. So let's get started. Let's start with a meta description. And I'm going to write a meta description for a homepage. So let's do, can you write a meta description for a homepage of a website, a photography. Let's do of a newborn photography website. Please always be polite with AI. I feel like if they ever take over the world someday, they're going to remember that I was kind even when I was messaging them. Right? A meta description. Okay. So now I'm going to say the brand name. I'll just call it my own. The business is MB Photography. And let's see what type of photography, because we want to know our business. What is our intent? What are we writing for? And then we need to give it more information about what our business is. So I'm going to say my brand is documentary in-home photography sessions for newborns. I love including the entire family and the dogs. My ideal client is a modern, sophisticated family. I'm going to say mom or parent. Let's do parent that values. What do they value? They value connection and time. All right. So now I'm just going to hit go and see what it comes up with. So it says, welcome to MB Bryan Photography, specializing in intimate documentary style newborn photography. We believe in capturing not just your newborn's first moments, but the warmth and connection of your entire family, pets included. For the modern sophisticated parents who values time and connection, let us immortalize these precious memories in the comfort of your home. Okay, so it had me at the beginning. I thought this was great. But then when we started talking about immortalizing precious, those aren't really my brand words. And I don't know that I want to actually I want to speak to my ideal client, but I don't want to say who my ideal client is. So I don't want to say that it's for modern sophisticated parents. So I'm going to say a couple things. Can you please write this again, but keep it to 160 characters or less, because that's an ideal meta description. And then also remove words like immortalize and precious. And you can be blunt. My brand isn't sappy. If you use immortalize and precious in your brand, fantastic. I cannot pull that type of a feel off. So I'm going to just be really blunt with AI, and I'm going to say my brand isn't sappy, so it needs to be more modern. Also, consider my ICA when writing, but don't say who they are in the meta description. Meaning, I don't want you to say that you're modern and sophisticated. So MB Photography, documenting newborns and family moments in a modern, authentic style. Experience the warmth of home sessions dogs welcome to. So I think this is actually okay. I would probably pull this out and use this for my meta description, but I would say something like documenting newborn and family moments in a modern, authentic style. Experience the warmth of in-home sessions. And then I'd probably say, please include your dogs, because that's more direct into who I am. But here's the one thing I missed. I forgot to tell it where I'm located. So I'm going to say, great, but add in the physical location of this business. We serve Dallas, Texas. So now it's going to rewrite it, and it's going to say, MB Photography, authentic newborn and family moments captured in home in Dallas, Texas. Embrace your story, dogs included. Okay. I would probably tweak this a little bit more, but the point of this AI content creation is that it's giving me a really good framework, and it's keeping me within that 160 characters or less. Because for me, I could talk a ton. I do talk a ton. I could write a ton, but getting it into that 160 characters SEO optimized amount is sometimes difficult for me. So I find that even if I have a starting meta description, I can put it into something like ChatGPT, and it will make it smaller. It will make it more palatable for Google to crawl it. So again, it's not writing my entire meta description. I will still tweak it from this point, absolutely. But what it is doing is it's letting me come in here and take what I do have and make it even better, or give me a starting point to create something amazing. So this is it for a meta description. I'm not going to put this one into Grammarly. It's pretty small. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you a blog. So I am going to reset this. I'm going to clear it all out, and I'm going to come back and we're going to look at writing a blog in ChatGPT. All right, I have reset everything, and we're going to look at a blog this time. So I actually don't know, because like I said, I didn't come in here with any idea of how I specifically what I wanted to write. I didn't test anything out. So I have an idea that I want to write a blog about preparing families for winter photos. And I don't really know what I want my key phrase to be. I prefer to do my own keyword research for sure, because ChatGPT is not always fed accurate current information. So it's really important that all this current research you're doing on your own still. And if you're having ChatGPT do it, you're checking it at least. However, for the sake of showing you what this can actually do, I want to show you that it can come up with an SEO key phrase for you, or at least an idea of what to blog about. So I'm going to say, can you give me some searched key phrases that I can use to write a blog as a photographer? I want to educate clients on preparing and the benefits of a winter family photo session. I'm going to hit go and see what it says. Oh, look, it's being quite polite today. Certainly, optimizing your blog post for SEO is a great way to reach a wider audience. Well, you know what, ChatGPT, I agree with you. It is. Here are some potential key phrases. So it's giving me some ideas of things that have been searched related to a photography business, winter family photos. And it's, wow, it's going like crazy. If you ever wanted to stop, you can just hit stop generating. And I'm going to say that is definitely enough. I don't need any more. So I'm going to pick one of these and I'm going to write a blog post about it. So winter family photo session ideas. How to dress, keeping kids happy in winter photo shoots, scheduling. Why? You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do winter family photo shoot. I think I'm going to have that be my key phrase. So I'm going to say, thank you. I'll say thank you. Can you now write a blog post about winter family photo shoots? The SEO key phrase, because we need to know this first, right? We need to know what the goal of this blog post is. And the goal for me in writing this is to reach more people through SEO. So what is the key phrase that I want to rank for? The SEO key phrase is winter family photo shoot. The intent, because we need to know our intent, is to educate and inspire families to consider having family photos done in the winter. Okay, now I'm going to say the intent is to educate and inspire families to consider having family photos done in winter. So there's what my goal is. I want this to feel inspirational, fun. I'm going to say inspirational and a little humorous. Oh gosh, look, you guys get to see that I can't type on here and can't spell. Thank goodness for spell check. Okay, I want this to feel inspirational and a little humorous. Now, I have told it what I want my SEO key phrase to be. I've told it what my intent is. But what I haven't also said is, what is winter like? Is it winter in Seattle? Is it winter in Dallas? So I'm going to say that winter where my ideal client lives is snowy and very cold. So be sure to include a section on how to prepare. Now, what else do I need to tell it? A good length. So I'm going to say, please make the blog post around 600 words. Okay, so I'm going to hit go and I'm just going to see what happens. And I'm going to probably tweak this quite a bit, but we need a starting point. So the title that it gave me is Embrace the Magic, Why You Should Consider a Winter Family Photo Shoot. Right here, this is my SEO key phrase. So it did a really nice job of coming up with a title that is click-worthy. Somebody would want to read it. It sounds interesting, but it included winter family photo shoot, which is the thing that I'm trying to rank for. And even the first sentence that it gives me, the mere mention of a winter family photo shoot might make you shiver. You're probably thinking, is there a faster way to turn my kids into icicles? But hear me out. There's a unique charm and beauty in these frozen moments that you simply can't capture in any other season. That is very on brand to me. It's a little bit humorous. I'm not like using puns or sounding way too ridiculous because that's definitely not my brand, but it is relating to families. It is saying something. Is there a faster way to turn my kids into icicles? Like, that is a little bit humorous, and that was the intent that I was going for with this. So now I'm going to look at it for SEO. How SEO friendly is this? How good of a job did it do? One thing that's important is that in your header twos, which are these subheadings on your blog, you need to make sure that you're using winter family photo shoot or the synonyms in at least half, but not all of your heading tags. Otherwise, that gets keyword stuffy. So I can see that it says, why a winter family photo shoot? Preparing for a winter family photo shoot. The unforeseen benefits of a winter family photo shoot. And now this is the conclusion. So I think it did a really good job on having an introduction, a first point, a second point, a third point, and now it's working on my conclusion. Does anybody else remember the 5-paragraph essays from like junior high? Because I had to write them all the time. I cannot handle them. At the time, I couldn't handle them, but now I'm super thankful because this is the structure of all of my blogs. I have an introduction, I have 3 points, and I have a conclusion. And it seems to me that AI did a pretty good job with that. However, what I don't like is that every single subheading has winter family photo shoot. So I could change that on my own so it's not stuffy, or I can ask AI to change it. So I'm going to say, can you please only use the key phrase in 2 of the subheadings? And now it's going to, sure, I can modify the blog post accordingly. Here is a revised version. All right. So I'm not going to go and tweak this anymore because I think that it came out okay. And if I keep modifying this, you're going to have to watch it type it. And that would take a while. So it's going through and it is fixing the header 2s, the subheadings of my blog. So why choose winter for your family photo shoot? It's now putting some spaces in between there. And it's going to go through here and hopefully make my subheadings a little less spammy. Now, I want to also take this into Grammarly. So let's look at this as a whole and see, is there anything else that I should worry about? I don't think so. The one other thing that I wanted to mention to you, and when this is all done, it looks like it's about 60% of the way done. I'm going to ask it to cite its sources. If you're a photographer and you're writing a post like this, you're not going to be having any facts in here that need to be fact checked. And it's entirely possible that ChatGPT is going to come back and say there wasn't any facts, or this was all general knowledge. However, if you're doing something that's technical, or maybe it listed a fact like the average temperature in Spokane in the middle of winter is 6 degrees. I'm not sure. That seems maybe too cold. But if it has a fact in there, or you're doing something that's more informative, make sure that you're asking ChatGPT to cite your sources. This will give you an opportunity to go see what is it using to pull that data. Is it a source that you would trust? And if you're on the fence with it, like if one of the facts comes from, Bob's Facts of Fun website, I might go check that website to make sure that it's valid, because now you have a bit of a sanity check to say, all right, the information that ChatGPT pulled from the internet, it might not be as trustworthy as I thought, and I need to go do a little bit more research. Again, not something that's really going to apply to this blog post. However, I'm still going to ask it. Oh, I like this. After all, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the snow. Or in this case, pose. I wouldn't say pose. I would pull that off because that's not me, but that's okay. So I'm going to say, this looks great. Can you please list any sources if you cited facts? And let's see. I'm glad you like the revised blog post. In this case, the content was based on general knowledge and experience and did not cite any specific sources or reference any specific studies or data. This is interesting. It's even telling me here, it's saying, for instance, if a certain percentage of people preferred winter photo shoots, if there were studies showing the effects of different seasons on photography, those would need to be properly sourced. So it's telling you what it sources and what it doesn't source. I've done some where I've said, can you give me like the top 5 locations to have family photos in Dallas, Texas? And I've done this more not for my own blog writing, but just to give an example. And then when I ask it to cite its sources, it will give me a lot of the government websites, like the state parks, the city parks, that it's pulling that data from. And that's a good way to, 1, to make sure that you're fact checking everything. But 2, these are opportunities to have good external links on your blogs if you cite back to the sources that this information came from. All right, so I'm going to say that this is good. And hopefully my screen jumps with me when we go to Grammarly, because I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to take it into Grammarly. So did it come with me? Yeah, it looks like you're coming to here. Okay. I use Grammarly when I'm writing my own work to check and see if I'm writing in a passive tone, if I have got too many fragment sentences, things like that. I am truly dyslexic, not one of those things where I say I'm dyslexic because I feel like I talk backwards. Like it's a thing for me. Grammarly is amazing. I proof almost all my stuff going through Grammarly just to make sure that I don't have things flipped around. But for ChatGPT, I'm using it mostly to plagiarism check and edit. So I'm going to paste this in here. I'm not going to go through here and really fix this so that it is pretty. So now here it's giving me some suggestions. Your red noses, it's wanting to change it to nose. I am not going to go through any of these suggestions because I think that if you are doing this yourself, this makes total sense. What I'm going to look for is a couple things. Let's say that I like the way everything is, but what I want to do is infuse my own voice into this. So I have a brand bank of words that are things that I often say. So I say things like hold space, dog friendly, I say like adventure, photos included. I've got a list here, so I'm just going to read some of them. I say unposed, accommodating, inspiring, creative, comfortable, inclusive, focused, expressive, connection, hold space, storytelling. These are all things that I know that I say in my brand. So I keep this list. I add to it often, but when I am writing like this, I'm going to come through and say things like, let's just pick on this paragraph. So are you ready to bundle up and create some unique winter memories? So I'll say, are you ready to bundle up and create some storytelling winter memories? A family photo shoot. I don't always like saying photo shoot, so I'm going to say photo session. Or I could say photo experience. In winter might be a bit chilly, but it is filled with moments of warmth, love, and laughter. So I'm going to say moments of true connection, love, and laughter. Don't let the cold deter you. Instead, think of it as Mother Nature's way of encouraging more cuddles. I don't know if I would say that, but that's close enough. So I would go through, that's just one paragraph, one example, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for ways to include other things that sound like me. Aside from stunning photos, a winter photo shoot has some unforeseen benefits, an opportunity to break the monotony of indoor winter activities and have some outdoor fun. Furthermore, winter photos make for unique holiday cards with soulful images of your family. So I just added soulful. Okay, just a couple ideas. You get the idea of how I'm going to go through here and I'm going to infuse my own words. Also, what's missing, I'm not going to add it here, but what is missing is my personal information. So not personal, my business's information. I'm going to link back to my own website. I'm going to say things like maybe book a session. I will say things up here like, you're probably thinking it's like being in your own winter wonderland fairy tale minus the talking snowman, of course. And then I could say, as a Spokane photographer who's used to the cold, read on for my best advice in creating your own wintry experience. All right, so now what I did, actually I said I wasn't going to go through and do this, but I wanted to show you a couple examples. I put Spokane photographer in here because this doesn't talk about my location. It's not talking about my brand. I would make sure that I had some links in here to other related blogs. I would link back to maybe my family photography page. So this isn't done by any means, but this is really solid. The last thing that I'm going to do in Grammarly before I start putting it into an actual blog post and building in those links, building this in with images, is I'm going to hit this button called plagiarism. And it is going to check and it's going to look for all the sources online and it's going to tell me if it sounds plagiarized. And if it does, it's going to give me the source and then I can decide what to do about it. So it says, after all, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the snow. It's copying it from the learning to dance in the rain. So I don't think that 3% matters. And in this situation, it's very specifically copying something to have a play on words. So not saying it's about learning to dance in the rain. It's saying snow. So it's almost intentional about the plagiarism part of it or the copying it. You could, if you really wanted to, cite this and make it totally legit. But for me, I don't think that this would count as anything that I'd worry about for plagiarism. And it's certainly not something that you'd get dinged about on Google. So I would probably just scrap this and call it good. And then I would move on to the next phase where I continue to optimize this for SEO and put it into my website to actually build a blog about winter session. But if you found this helpful, make sure that you subscribe, you like this video. It will help me create more content like this where I talk about running my creative photography business online, some of the business tactics that I use, but most importantly, I talk a heck of a lot about SEO and an online presence and having a really strong online brand.